I grew up making pixel art, and I got back into it in the past year and a half or so, and if there is one thing I have learned that has really helped me out with my character design, it is to push it. There's probably a better phrase for this that's not already a song, but either way, this philosophy has really transformed the way that I do my work. It has helped me immensely, so I want to help you guys out with these 3 easy to follow tips to help you push your art to the max. I don't know why finger guns. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Robinson of Robinson Pixels. The first tip is to push your character design. Sometimes after I've designed a character, I feel like I did a great job, I'm done, and I'm moving on. But that's not always the way to design the best character. There's a couple of ways that you could push your work to be a lot better. I'm going to go over 2 different methods. Now, the first method is research focused. So one of the videos on this channel is about shading, and for that video, I really wanted a character that I could practice on. And I decided that that character would be a Ninja Turtle knockoff, but not exactly a knockoff. I wanted it to be its own legally distinct thing. But first I knew that I wanted it to not be green because we always color turtles to be green. After a little research, I found out that there's a cherry-headed, red-footed tortoise that lives in South America. Yes, I know that tortoises and turtles are not exactly the same thing. My tortoise would need a martial art that's not ninjutsu. So another research push told me that capoeira is really big in Brazil.
Capoeira.
That informed his outfit, his hairstyle, and even the pose he uses for the kick. I would make him extra legally distinct from the Ninja Turtles by making him an actual lawyer. Now, did I need to do all that for a video about shading? I mean, no, not really. But I did get one comment on that video that said, I gotta find it. So he's an adult, non-mutant lawyer tortoise who does capoeira in his free time. And yeah, that is what he is. I didn't even use the word capoeira in the video because I didn't know the word and it's hard to say, and I hope I'm saying it right now.
Capoeira.
But either way, the fact that somebody caught that just from this design that I had crafted is really cool, and it was really fulfilling for me as a person. Now, if you want to use a push method that's not so research-based, I would recommend going for the second one that is discovery-based. Last night, I was designing an air-themed monster. At first, I thought maybe it could be like a cloud cyclops, but that looks like a peanut, so let's push it to a full monster. A little better, but why is it standing if it's a cloud? Let's push it into the air. But why does a cloud monster even need legs at all? Yeah, this is a cute little monster now that can punch you around, which is a thing I feel like wind does. This design could be done, but what if we push it just a little bit further? I want it to be a storm cloud. Hell yeah, that's rad. It's not even that far off from where we started, but I feel like the extra pushes really made this look like its own character that could exist in something. After you've pushed that character design into something you're really proud of and you're actually working on the art, I highly recommend that you actually also consider pushing your contrast. A lot of times when people are new to pixel art, or even just art in general, their pictures lack a lot of contrast. This is something I'm very guilty of, like with this Mario sprite I did last year. Let's just look at those colors and bump up that contrast. If I make the brights a little brighter and the darks a little darker, oh buddy, that's better. And just to push it one tiny bit further, because I could not help myself, I went ahead and introduced one extra shade for his face to bridge the gap between that lightest shade of his skin and the next shade down. That helped smooth out how jagged it looked before. Big improvements with just a little push. Fixing the contrast isn't even just necessarily a shading issue, it's also a big factor even in like 8-bit style flat colors. I am super proud of this power suit I designed in a recent video, but I had some comments about the color choices not exactly working. And yeah, flip this thing to grayscale and you can see there's very little contrast between the yellow-orange and that blue I used. See, I had drawn some concept art for this, and if I had just used those exact colors, it would have worked much better. But I didn't because I really wanted that yellow to match the same color as Samus's armor. Now, if I really wanted to commit to that, I should have used a totally different color scheme without that bright blue. Either of these options works better than what I started with. Once you've got your design and your colors down pat and you're actually making your character do stuff, I strongly recommend that you push your poses. Sometimes I get stuck making my pixel art characters look a little stiff, or, rigid. That can work depending on the mood of the scene, sometimes it's just necessary to get things done. But it's not even always the case, really. Lots of times you want your characters to look more dynamic. I'm gonna use Mega Man sprites as examples because I cannot help myself. I freaking love them. They're adorable and they're just so damn good. Okay, so Mega Man's standing here. Even in this pose, his legs are spread apart. He looks like he's kind of ready for action. And then to make him shoot, they could have just made him hold up his gun, but they didn't do that. They redrew the entire sprite with him leaning way forward. It's so much more dynamic and it wasn't even necessary. I like to push things as hard as I can, and I'm always working to try to find new ways to do that. Like with this alien slug that I drew last year. He doesn't just scoot. I pushed each frame to make the character look like he's really trying. He's exhaling hardcore when he scoots forward, and then opening his mouth really wide to take in another breath. I think that's really funny for a monster villain, you know? It's kind of goofy. It gives him a lot more personality. Now, once you've finished pushing your characters to the actual limit, you may notice that there are some critical mistakes you've made with the actual shading process. If that's the case, check out my video on the capoeira tortoise right over here. I can't Turk.